Well, Tata Motor reckons that the Bolt is all the premium hatchback that you will ever really need. But the big question is, has this car got what it takes to beat class leaders from this segment? We've got the Hyundai Grand i10 with us to figure that question out today. Well, so here I am now inside the Grand i10's cabin, and just like most other Hyundais, this car really does come with all the bells and whistles. You of course get the obligatory start-stop button, you get Bluetooth for your stereo, and the more useful features of course are the cooled glove box as well as 1 GB storage space on the stereo system. Well, all the controls are very well marked and very easy and intuitive to operate. What that means is that when you are driving this car, you don't really have to take your eyes off the road to change that station on the radio. Well, in terms of practicality, the Grand i10 is a great place to be and much better than the Tata Bolt. You of course get a big tray over here where you can keep your wallet or those flashy sunglasses. You also get two cup holders over here where you can house that big bottle, and there's also a small tray over here where you can keep that wallet. Well, so here I am now inside the Tata Bolt's front seats, and this car definitely has the edge in terms of seat cushioning and overall support from the seats, because Tata Motors has given it very nice padding. Even the side padding is very good, and that means that if you are planning a long journey on the highway, then this is the place you want to be in. Well, Tata Motors seems to have taken a leaf out of Hyundai's book, and they've loaded the Bolt with features. And just like most Hyundai cars, this car also has that essential feel-good factor about it. But in terms of plastic quality, this car is right up there with the Grand i10. Well, where the Bolt has the edge over the Grand i10 is in the fact that it offers you a GPS navigation system. Now, the Bolt is the only small car in India which offers this, and it also offers you an automatic climate control system, which is something which the Grand does not offer even as an option. Well, so here I am now in the back seat of the Grand i10, and as you can see, there's good amount of knee room over here, and headroom is generous as well. Where the Grand i10 has the clear edge over the Bolt is in the space over here, and also the floor panel is very flattish, so whoever's sitting over here will have plenty of place to keep his feet at. Also, you get AC vents over here, which the Bolt does not offer. Well, so here I am now in the back seat of the Tata Bolt, and in terms of choosing this one over the Grand, there's hardly any difference. On the plus side, the Tata Bolt's seats are much better because they offer you much better support and much better cushioning than the Grand. And leg room, as you can see, is roughly the same. Headroom is more or less the same as well when you compare it with the Grand. The only slight advantage which the Grand offers is that it has rear AC vents, but then again, the throw of air is so good from the AC vents over here in the Bolt that you don't really care too much about the ones at the back. The Bolt is marginally wider at the back from the Grand i10, and what that essentially means is that it's a better car to fit in young cricketers inside. Well, so here I am now driving the Grand i10's petrol version. Now, this car of course comes with a 1.2 litre petrol motor which generates about 82 bhp of power, and I have to say that in terms of refinement, nothing can beat the Hyundai petrol motors. Well, in terms of refinement, this engine is right up there with the best in this segment. In fact, it's very hard to beat Hyundai petrol engines when it comes to engine smoothness and overall refinement. Well, just like most other Hyundai cars, the Grand i10 is in its elements when it's in the city. The light steering wheel along with the light and accurate gearbox and the super light clutch means that this car is a joy to maneuver around town traffic, and it's a very hassle-free car to drive. In fact, this car is the poster boy for easy driving around city limits. Well, the ride comfort on the Grand i10 is very good, and it's only when you take it out of the city that you realize that it's not really a highway car. It's pretty okay when you keep it to speeds of up to about 100-110 kph, but once you go above those speeds, this car feels a little light and it doesn't offer that same reassuring ride quality that the Tata Bolt offers. Well, just like most other Hyundai cars, the steering on the Grand i10 is overtly light, and it doesn't really have too much feel as well. What that means is that this car is very easy to drive in town, but yes, on the highway you would want something which offers more feel. Well, in terms of overall ride comfort, the Grand i10 really feels very good when you are in the city, and it really takes the stings away from even the worst road surfaces. Well, here I am now driving the Tata Bolt's petrol version. Now this car of course comes with a 1.2 litre petrol motor which develops about 89 bhp of power, and if you think that the Grand i10's petrol is refined, then the Tata Bolt is very close to it in terms of overall refinement and noise and vibration. And this engine, in fact, if you are sitting in the back seat, is very difficult to tell at idle if it's on or off. It's that good in terms of engine refinement. Where the Bolt also impresses is in the fact that it comes with 3 engine modes to choose from, driving modes to choose from. You of course get City, where it starts automatically, and you get Eco as well as Sports mode. Now, as the name suggests, the Eco mode is where fuel efficiency is at its best, while the Sports mode is where you get the maximum performance out of this engine, and City mode is a mix of both these. Well, unlike a lot of other cars where these modes are pure gimmicks, on the Bolt they actually do work, and when you do drive it on that Sports mode, this car really does feel very peppy and lively. The Bolt really does feel like you are driving a much bigger car, and that's largely due to the fact that the suspension has been worked on by Tata Motors in a very good way. This car feels very stable and very reassuring, especially on the highway. Even when you are in the city, this car really does offer a very good ride, and it really takes the sting away from all those bad patchwork roads. Well, in terms of driving dynamics, Tata Motors has improved the gearbox quality as well. It's not as slick or as light as the one on the Grand i10, but it's not far away either. Well, another area where the Bolt seems to have a slight advantage over the Grand i10 is in the steering department. It feels very well weighted when you are in the city, and even on the highway it offers a lot more feel than the one on the Grand. Well, if you are someone who's going to drive on the highway regularly, then the Tata Bolt clearly has the edge over the Grand i10. It offers you a corsetting ride, a comfortable cabin, and a refined petrol engine. Well, but that said, if you are someone who's going to be driving primarily within the city, then nothing can beat the easy and hassle-free nature of the Grand i10. What that means is that you have to really choose between a highway car and one which is primarily for the city.